Hello and a happy Easter day. I can't remember how long it's been since my last video, but it's definitely over a week. I haven't decided, like a regular schedule, like how often I'm going to bring a video, but it's just kind of as and when. If you've been following me on like Facebook and Instagram, I do sometimes post the same things on both, but sometimes they're slightly different and they've got two different names. On Instagram, my name's the same as this, Claire Who Makes Stuff, and on Facebook I'm a Periwinkle Cottage Crafts. So sometimes they're exactly the same post, sometimes I differ a little bit, and because what it is on Facebook, I've got different pages. I've got like one that's for my chickens, one that's for my dogs, and one that's for my cats, and then like my personal one. And actually my personal one, I rarely post anything on there. It's more about the dogs, the cats, the chickens, the crafts. So and anyway, a lot has happened. If you've been that's why I was telling you, if you've been following me on there, you'd have seen that I was going to show you what I've been up to in my next video, and you'll have all seen in my previous videos I've been just going on and on about this dog coat. And I can't actually show you the pattern today. Do you know, every time I get the pattern I'll show you and I'll give you the number, because I don't know where it's gone to, but but never mind. But before I get to that, I'm going to tell you what I'm wearing, because I might want to pick Rafe up, and obviously it might be a bit awkward then. But this is what I cut this dress out on Thursday evening when my husband was watching the football. Did a bit of the sewing on it, or did I? I think I did a bit of the sewing, and then did a little bit of the sewing Friday afternoon, Good Friday, but then my mum and dad popped round because they wanted to do the Easter eggs and things then. So then I got round to hemming it Saturday morning, and then I wore it Saturday afternoon. So it's a Dungaree dress. I'll just move these, and it's got like the little Dungaree clips here. They're made, all my hair stuff, made by Prim, and I've made it in a corduroy kind of fabric, and I got it from So Social Studio in Tamworth. So if I just stand up a minute so you can have a look, and I'll stand on my stool a little bit. So I've made the short version, and it's got a pocket here, and it's got two pockets on the back. But you can make a different version where you don't put the pockets on the back, you don't put the pocket here on the front, and you put those two pockets on the front here. So that'd be quite a nice version as well. But I'm really pleased with it. The reason I wanted to make it is because I thought it's the kind of thing, right, I'll get him out now. Say hello, Ray. It's the kind of thing that you could kind of wear a jumper with it. You could even wear like a t-shirt and a jumper underneath it, and wear tights and boots and a winter coat and your gloves and your hat. Then when I wore this Saturday, I wore like a 3/4 length top, and actually this top is really short. And actually, it's that short. I feel a bit uncomfortable with that much skin exposed. I think it's a bit like because of my age now. I think if I was younger, like my son's age, maybe I wouldn't. Even though I don't mind my stomach, I just think, oh no, it's for the younger people. And but then I thought, if it's like really warm, you could wear a vest underneath it, and say, for example, if I made like a corduroy, probably wouldn't be ideal, but if I made like a lighter fabric, as long as it was heavy enough to kind of hold the shape, like if you was abroad, you could like have your bikini on, and if you didn't want to just put shorts on, you could put like one of these on. So I can really see myself like I'm definitely making another, because I bought fabric to make two of them. So I'm definitely going to make it two, but I can actually see myself making more, because I kind of like the comfort. sometimes when I get in the house, I don't know what you're like, but I just can't, when I'm wearing like restricted jeans and things, I can't wait to get out of them. And so this is like really comfy. Like if I got in from the shops, I'd quite happily sit around in it then, and I'd be really comfortable. And especially like this fabric hasn't really got any give in it. If anything, the gives in it that way a little bit, but nothing that way. But say if you used a slight stretch fabric as well, that would be pretty incredible. And the pattern is, I love her. I absolutely love her. Tilly and the buttons, Cleo. That's the pattern, and you can make a long version, and you can have one with a slit. And the my Dungaree clips with a prim, and they were 30mm apparently. So I absolutely love Tilly and the buttons. Now, if you've like followed me for like years on my Facebook, I have been posting on my Facebook the Periwinkle Cottage Crafts for years and years, and you'll probably not really think, oh, I'm that into making clothes. I make mainly other things, but I do every now and then make the odd thing. So another Tilly and the buttons pattern I made. This was the first one actually. Let me just grab these. I'll pop those on the floor. Was the Agnes top. Now there's different variations of the Agnes. You can have a long sleeve, a short sleeve. Do you like the look of that, Rafe? A long sleeve, I think it's a 3/4 length sleeve, which I haven't done. You don't have to have the poofy bit or the ruffle on the shoulder, and you don't have to have that ruched bit in the middle. But when I first made it, I just wanted to do the whole shaboodle kind of thing. I wanted to make every kind of tricky bit, I suppose. I just wanted to just go the whole hog and try it all, and that's what I did. But I at the time didn't want the neck as low, so I actually put an extra piece of paper and brought the neck a bit higher. Like I've wore this quite a lot of times, so it's well worn. But I was thinking, like, I probably wouldn't now. Like the weather in the UK at the minute is gorgeous. Like I know it's going to be a bit colder, but I think this would look lovely underneath this. I think it would complement each other really nicely. So and again, that Agnes, I haven't got the pattern to hand to show you, but I would definitely be making lots of those. I did make another one. I've probably worn this one more, in all honesty, and I think the reason I wore this one a little bit more is that it's been a bit more wearable because of the style of one I did, and the fabric had a tiny bit more stretch to it than that one, and it was the pattern on it. It was really I really kind of liked it in the winter, and it was this one. I got the fabric. The fabric I bought, the stripy one, was from Guthrie and Garney and Mosley. If you ever watched I think the first sewing bee. Lauren and her husband are the owners of that shop. She comes second in the first sewing bee. Not that I'm a sewing bee expert, because I haven't watched all of them, and I've only watched one full episode of the one that was just on, and that was the one when they were making dog coats, surprise out of tents. So what it is, I saw do you know Joe Lycett, the comedian, that he's from not too far from me. I'd started following him on Instagram before he was on Sewing Bee, but he shared something about the dog coats. I thought, I've got to watch that one tonight, even though I have recorded them all, and sometimes it doesn't mean if I've recorded something I'm definitely going to watch it. I end up sometimes just deleting, and I did watch a little bit of the first one. So, but people have been chatting about this one, and I'm a bit intrigued. So, do you know what? I think I'm going to watch it, and I've got a growing interest in making clothes. So if you see from my craft pages, I'll make a lot of things that aren't clothes. I've actually probably made a lot more doll clothes and teddy bear kind of clothes than I have anything else. So I think I'm going to watch it. So that was the other Agnes. So again, the neck is the same as that one because I just left it the way it was, but I didn't put the puffy bit on the sleeve, and I didn't bother putting the ruchiness in the middle. So and it looks totally different. The trouble is with this now, this does look old. I wore it that much. In all honesty, what I tend to wear it for now is when I know that I've got other layers and I'm not even going to be taking it off, or I'll wear it when I'm doing figure skates in practice. It's just a bit like of an underlayer now, but so I'm definitely going to have to make some more of those for later this year as the weather turns. So again, that's the Agnes. Sticking to clothes for now, just showing you the kind of clothes that I have made. So I can make clothes as well, you know. This is a skirt. There's all threads all over it, and it could do with an eye. This is a navy blue pencil skirt I made with a little split at the back. You probably can't see it. It's got a little split at the back. Got 2 darts in the back, 2 darts in the front, and a concealed zipper. And I at the time I made that just because I wanted to try the concealed zipper. Like, I did want the skirt. I wouldn't just make it just to try it. I'd like to have, you know, want to wear it at the end. So yeah, the only thing I'd say about that is I probably wouldn't put the darts on the front if I made it again. Maybe just the darts in the back and keep the front flat. But yeah, I'm going to try and make an effort. I think, in all honesty, because it's quite dark and it's so skinny, when it's in my wardrobe I can't really see it that well, and I forget I've got it. So I'm going to try and start wearing it. In fact, it would look quite nice with the top I've got on now. This is like a body thing. It is navy, so it would probably look really lovely with this top actually. So remind me, please remind me. If I don't wear it, remind me. Right, another thing I've made, these are not like, you know, I've just made them kind of thing. I just thought I'll show you some of the clothes. Oh, the pattern for that skirt, I can't remember, but if you just put in pencil skirt pattern somewhere, you'd find one, honestly. So, right, shorts. I made shorts, emergency shorts for my youngest son one sports day. In my son's primary school, they do like sports day, and they're in like a house thing, a bit like Harry Potter, and you've got like Gryffindor and Slytherin. They did like houses like that, and they were in one called Saint Cecilia, and their colour was green. So on sports day they had to wear something green, and we'd got. My boys didn't really wear green t-shirts, but I used to buy green t-shirts, just think, oh, that will be all right for sports day when that comes around. But I don't know what happened. I think they were just getting probably old and tatty, and they'd gone out. And I got to my 3rd son, and this was just one sports day, and I thought, I haven't got anything for him to green t-shirts to wear, so what shall I do? So he ended up wearing a white t-shirt, and none of the houses have white t-shirts, so that was okay. And I'd got grey fabric that somebody had given me, and I put some green racer stripes down the side and all around the edges. And I'd never made a pair of shorts at that point, and I was so proud of them. And he loved them, and I put it on our Facebook and whatever at the time. But I really liked them that much. I'd made myself some, but they were in the same fabric but a different colour binding. But I did the shorter version, and I do wear these in the summer. They're a bit boyish. They're a bit like, do you know, like football. Is it like 50s, 60s, like football? That's what it reminds me. But isn't that might be all coming back in? I'm sure footballers' shorts are starting to get a little bit shorter. And that was fabric somebody gave me. I don't even know what it is. And I've made so much out of it. So I've made my son shorts. I made myself shorts. Actually, I can show you something. Oh yeah, I made these shorts. Now there's a lady called So Over It. I have met her once. So I'm really sorry, I can't think of them. People who are really into this, they probably think, how do you not know her? She does do YouTube. I don't think she talks about. I think she talks about home more now. I did watch a couple a long time ago, and then I had a look for her, and she wasn't really talking about sewing, but so I know sewing her things, and she does the carry trousers. So I bought the pattern, and it says you can do a short version. Now that really this style isn't really my kind of style, like big and baggy, but you know what I thought in the shorts, I thought and what it is, I'm going through this kind of transition, like from like wearing what like younger people wear to older people, but what it is, my figure hasn't changed. I'm like, my figure's just the same as it's been in years. Okay, we all fluctuate up and down a little bit, but I'm never far from, you know, what I am now. And so I kind of like fitting kind of things that I'd probably be too young for me, and I'm worried I'm going to start looking a bit like, you know, the expression like mutton dressed as lamb. I just don't want to get to that stage kind of thing, you know. But I don't know if I'm feeling old. Not old, but older, because of the age of my kids, because I've got like teens, and my youngest is like, you know, in another year he'll be a teen, so I'll have all teenagers, and obviously my eldest has got a girlfriend, and I think, do I want to go around looking like my son's girlfriend? It just doesn't seem right. So I'm in a really tricky time in life, knowing what to wear, but I'm really not ready to look dressed in an older way, and I just, you know, go around in like suit kind of things. Like, it's just, no, it's not me. I think I'm a bit more fun. I'm all about the fun, but so these aren't really my kind of thing, but I did make them and I did wear them. They were like clottish kind of things, and you know what, they looked all right. I was pleasantly surprised. It was going to be one of these, I'm not sure. And maybe if I'd bought the fabric, maybe I wouldn't have made them. Maybe it's because I knew this fabric was free, and if I didn't like them, then, you know, I didn't have to wear them. I could give them away. I bought a couple of treats in for Rafe, and he just spotted them. I'm just wondering what else. Oh, have you dropped it? Right. Well, actually, that's a good idea. I'll just pop him in there in his chair and give him his treat, and then I can show you. And this is really fitting because it's Easter. This is one of the first things I think I made with that fabric. Look. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Oh, do you know what? It's just reminded me, thinking of bunnies. I did finish my basket of bunnies, and I made the basket, and I decorated it, and I made the little eggs. But guess where it is? It's on my dresser in my kitchen. So, do you know what? I know it will be after Easter, but do you know, I will show you next time. But this is a bunny I made another year. She is huge, and I love her. It's like having a companion, isn't it? In my sewing room. Like a lot of the toys I do make, I do often keep them in my craft room, because often I just make them because I like them. And last year, so I think I didn't make this last year. I think it was the year before. Last year I went to a quilting shop called the Bramble Patch, and I'd never been there before. And they were doing like a demo. And they were demoing making carrots in this like little bunny bag, and I bought the orange fabric. I thought, that's it, I'm making the carrots. So last year I did make 2 carrots just to go in her pockets, and she's lovely. But I have got more. I do intend to make more carrots, and I thought it would be this year, but I just didn't get round to it. But see what I'm saying, this grey fabric, oh, I've done so well out of it. Like, I don't know how much more I've got. I'll have to have a look, actually. I've moved so many things round in my craft room. I sort of like, I need to have a bit of a sort out really and find where everything is. You don't want to be jumping off there, darling. Right, another thing, clothing I've made. This was I can't tell you exactly, it was a simplicity pattern, and it was out of, do you know, Sew magazine? You get like free patterns on the front of it, and I bought this fabric. Oh, we can see another tree. That's the last one. I bought this fabric. It was like really cheap. It was like £2 a metre from Hobbycraft, and I think it was like some poly cotton thing, and because I'm more of a quilter, so I'm all into the 100% high quality cottons. So when I've accidentally ended up with a kind of poly cotton and I'm doing some quilting kind of thing, it's been awful. It's been really awful, so you just don't want to use it. But I don't know, please, if you make clothes, please leave me a comment. But what do dressmakers think of polycotton for clothing? Is that something that you like using? Is it good for clothes? Like I'm not going to be making clothes to sell. If you follow me, you know I don't sell anything. I'm just making stuff for my family, my home, myself. So I don't mind buying quality, and if I'm going to spend that time making something. So the one fabric I have found that I quite like is chambray, and I've looked, and I think from what I've seen, a lot of people like cotton lawn. Do you think that would be the way to go, or is poly cotton like one if you really are into fabrics, would you avoid it, or is that like real? No, just go for it. So I didn't think about this when I bought it, but I saw it and I thought, oh, that looks like a lot of fun. I want to try and make this top, and I didn't think, oh, I thought, I'm not going to wear it, I don't know. I just thought, have a go. It's cheap fabric and it's got cuckoo clocks all over it. And then I thought, well, what does that say about me, really? Is that I'm cuckoo? And actually, when I posted myself wearing it, I said it's got a cuckoo. That's what people were saying about me. But do you know what? It's better than being boring, is it? I know I'm not. I don't think I'm the normal kind of person. I think people that know me well, so I don't think I'd be classed as normal. But you know, I don't know. But I made it in the cuckoo clocks. It looks awful on here. Have a look up close. It is cute, isn't it? Maybe babyish, I don't know. But when I first put it on, I really liked the fit, because I'd done a full bust adjustment, and it was more about doing a top, doing a full bust adjustment. I can't speak. Do you think I've had too much chocolate? It is Easter Day. Did I say Happy Easter? Yeah, and I've had sweets. My middle son was feeding me sweets just before this while we were watching Ratburger, the film. Have you seen that with David Walliams? I've read the book. My youngest read the book. My middle one hasn't read the book, but my little one hasn't actually seen the film. I've seen the film because I've read the book, watched the film. So my middle one, he was watching that. And he was feeding me sweets because I think he was getting a bit fed up. I said, look, you don't have to feed them to me, just if you don't want them, save them for later. But he's giving me a fib. I thought, oh, I can't eat no more. I just can't. So I think the sugar, and I do have issues with sugar. I'm not like diagnosed with anything, but when I used to be at school, I used to have like a can of it was a cherry Coke at the time. I don't know if do they sell that now? I don't know. And I'd go mental on the bus, and I knew I'd go mental because people would say, "You're not going to drink that, are you?" So I knew I used to go crazy. I think I used to drive everyone crazy on the bus. But you know, it's just sugar does funny things to me. Anyway, do you remember me saying recently? That I was going to some talk to watch Angela Atwood. It was like a quilting group, and I went there because I've met them once before. I went along to see them because I thought, you know what, I'm a bit of a lone bit of a loner, really, when it comes to my quilting. It's just something I've sown all my life, and slowly over time I've done research, I've picked things up and I've done it. But I kind of sort of thought, I want to be a part of something quilting kind of thing. So I went along to a group, and that particular week they were going to be doing an exhibition. So really, I knew they wasn't going to be doing anything, but it was all about that. It was all about the exhibition that they were doing that weekend. And then I went to the exhibition, I had a look round at their quilts, and there were stalls, and I had a little bit of a go on one of the little workshops and things. Had a lovely time. And then the week I was going to go back, my husband's car or truck was being repaired or having some work done, so he had my car, so I couldn't go. So then I went to the next one, and we were doing, I was going to get the iPad so I could show you. They were doing a card trick block, and they read out all the measurements and all the shape, the sizes and everything of these square triangles and whatever. But I was kind of setting everything up, and I'd never been there before, and people were writing down, and I didn't get any of the measurements, and I knew I could go around asking people, and I thought, oh, so I just got my phone out and I typed in card trick block, and these blocks come up, and I showed the lady next to me, and it turns out she's quite experienced lady, and I said, is that it? And she said yes. So basically I just thought I'll copy it. So all I got round to doing while I was there is just I didn't know what size squares everybody else was doing, but I just cut out 5-inch squares, loads and loads and loads of them. And then I just thought, I'll just do what I can. But by the time we'd done all that, and we'd had a little chat and show and tell and whatever, that's all I had time for. So I had to go home and do it. So I put the block together when I got home, and I thought, oh, that's lovely. So I put a bit of sashing around it, and then I did what did I do? I worked out what kind of size cushion could I buy, and I had a look, and so I cut my wadding so it was a bit bigger than what the cushion size is. I just put the block that I'd made, this is before I put any sashing actually, I just put the block I made bang in the centre. Rafes here sitting like a good one. I wish you could see him actually. He's not asleep, his head's not down. Oh wait, it's sort of going down now. He's going to fall asleep. He's doing a holly on me like Holly did last time. I put centre of the wadding, and I did stitch in the ditch with some invisible thread. So stitch in the ditch is when you quilt with stitching right in your seam line. So you know, if you don't want any added kind of quilting look, which I didn't, then I did a kind of stitch and flip method with bindings, with strips round the 4 sides, and then I thought, well, it needs to be a little bit bigger again, so I did an extra layer of like this white, and then I made the backing of the cushion, stitched it together. So normally if you're doing a cushion, you'd put your right side of your cushion and the right side of the back of your cushion together, stitch around and then turn it inside out. But this way I left the raw edges on the outside, and I put like a bias, well, it wasn't, I didn't cut it bias, I made a binding, just a straight binding, and I've done this for my son, and actually, oh, he loves it. That's the block, and my son actually, he spotted this fabric on a previous visit to a Hobbycraft, and it's labelled, it's the Craft Cotton Company, and it's in that big pile of fat quarters, but it was actually labelled the National History Museum, and it is lovely. There's the green one, if you can see, has got like penguins and things. I've put them all different directions, so it doesn't really matter which way you have it. There's dolphins on that blue one there, and there's ships, like old-fashioned, like galleon kind of ships on that other blue one, and then the white on the outside I can see like an old-fashioned deep sea diver there, What else is on there? Well, just a few other bits and some mountains, green galleons. It kind of ties in with the colours of the other fabrics. And then the one on actually the back of the cushion, I probably love it more than the front in all honesty. Look, fish. So I've had to go back and buy more of this fabric because I think even if I make cushions just made in that, but then I kind of gone away from the theme of his bedroom. He's kind of got, it looks very Great British, like red, white and blue, but but he's really into sea creatures and sharks especially, and on his shelf, like I've crocheted him as a a snorkel with well, a diver, with the tank on his back and the snorkel and things and the flippers, and I've done like a dolphin, loads of different creatures. If you've ever been following me, especially on Facebook, there's probably some on Instagram, because I've only really been posting a lot on Instagram and my craft one for about a year. Before that, it was just as and when, so it wasn't very regular. So really, Facebook has got more, but they're all just they're not. I did make albums years ago, but I just kind of throw them on there, and I don't really sort them out really. So so there are sea creatures in there. So, but I'm thinking, it's not. Is it going to clash with his room? What I need to pick, what colours am I going with, or should I just do a mixture of everything? But he has got a wigwam I made, so if I think all those don't go, I can just throw them in the wigwam and there are extra cushions in there. So I made that. But before I decided I was going to buy more of this, I had quite a few scraps and I just couldn't resist. I've always wanted, I'm losing this. I've always wanted to make, I've got distracted again. I haven't finished talking about clothes, I've just seen some things down here. Well, anyway, I'm going to tell you about these now. Where's the other one? Oh, here. Right, here we go. I made fabric fish. How gorgeous. I put rickrack to hang them. They're like mackerel, that's what they remind me of. So I've done them like in all different patches, so they look a little bit different on either side, and put buttons for eyes. But he's got a twiggy tree in his room, so I was dangling it on there. I have hung off the wigwam, and more recently they were hanging off his door handle, because I've actually put the tree, I've got two twiggy trees, but I've actually put the one in his bedroom window, because he's got a downstairs bedroom, because we did like a conversion, and I've hung all like eggs and things I've made on it for Easter, so it's like an Easter tree in my front window, and I've put a few of my other handmade items, like things I've knitted and crocheted. Like I've made various things over the years. Easter, I love Easter, Halloween, Christmas. Those kind of things really inspire me a lot to do my things. I've just seen, have I really chatted for that long? I'm so sorry. No one's going to watch this, are they? Because no one's going to have 33 minutes spare. So I'm going to hurry up. Right. So what did I do? Where's it gone? Right. So I was in Hobbycraft and I saw this. I could not resist, and that screamed eggs and Easter. And I know it's Easter today, and I've still got all this left. But you know what? Hopefully I've got many more Easters. And I only really had time, but I made a little crochet egg. So that was hanging on my tree, but I've took that off to show you. There's patterns all over the place for that. I got that particular pattern from this Simply Crochet, but what I will say is the egg in there, I didn't do it the same, because I've crocheted a long time. I like, sometimes I'll use something as a guide, I'll do that many stitches and whatever, but sometimes I do my own way, and they was increasing by chaining up one to get to the next row, but I didn't bother. I just went round and round and round and round. I probably would do their style if I wanted to change a different colour on each row or every other row or whatever, but that was variegated, so it didn't matter. So that's the most recent Simply Crochet I bought. That was issue 82. But what did attract me, why I bought this one, and again, I don't even know why I did that. I probably could make a basket. I don't need a pattern really, but sometimes I like to see what yarn they've used, and I'm thinking of making that basket for collecting my own hen's eggs from the garden. So yeah, that's a to-do make. So even though Easter will be gone, I'll be doing that. The fabric fish, going back to that, I did have a pattern, and it was from another 20 to make. I've mentioned these books before, a 20 to make, and it's Jelly Roll Scraps, and that is on, the fish were on page 18, and they were there. What I will say to you is, and this actually will take you to the dog coat thingy, is that the patterns aren't full size. You have to increase your patterns. Now that is pretty off-putting, isn't it, really, for most people, myself included. Look, that's how tiny it is. And now, how I did it, I tried scanning it into my computer, but I just couldn't seem to increase it by, you know, whatever percentage. If I wanted to double it, because that's so it's half the side, you'd say times by 200%, but it just wasn't giving me that option, and also I got really annoyed. So I suppose you could go somewhere and ask someone to do that, but I've got a Brother Scan and Cut, so I photocopied that. I just cut the fish out, I scanned it in, and then I saved that file, and then I increased it to double the size, and then I drew it. I could have got it to cut, but I just got it to draw it and cut it out myself, because I quite like cutting. I really do. Even though I've got these electrical machines, I do like cutting. There are, you know, there's a time definitely for electrical cutters, definitely, but a lot of the things I can just manage myself. So that kind of gave me the idea for Rafe's coat. Now remember, the pattern, the McCall Crafts, I don't know where the pattern is, I made the smallest one, the extra small, and it fitted my Holly that you saw. She was wearing this last time. Actually, when I looked at her on that video, and I looked back, I thought the collar, even though I made the smallest collar, looked really high. So actually, I think it would look quite nice rolled down like that. So that's an option. So what I ended up doing is I scanned all the pieces of the pattern for this into the Brother Scan and Cut. But because I'd put all the like little notches and all the writing, it was picking up everything. And so I drew round them onto more paper, some wallpaper lining paper, so they were really plain. And I scanned those in, but it was just it was picking up all these little. It wasn't picking up the whole shape. It was like missing bits out, and if I'd have saved that as a file, it would never have cut out. So I was getting a bit frustrated. And then what I ended up doing, the mat wasn't. I've got a big scanning mat, but I hadn't got a big cutting mat, because you can have 12 by 12 inch mats and you can have 12 by 24. So I ended up. So this is why it took so long. I ordered this extra large cutting mat that came. And I scanned it in again with my outline, and I will say my line was a little bit wobbly, but it just didn't. It was all like not all recognising. So I ended up getting some newspaper out. We bought some spray paint. My husband spray painted them for me, scanned them in like that on the scan mat, and it still wasn't liking it. So I ended up scanning them in again, but I did them on the cutting mat, and actually they scanned in better. And it did come up, like, for example, one piece, it looked like 3 different files, but I just joined them together, and lo and behold, I did it. I managed to get a smaller pattern. So that's the back. Look how tiny that is for Rafe. And then I scanned the collar. The collar, it still looks huge, doesn't it? And I suppose that I could have just measured and drew it out myself, but because I was doing that anyway. And that's, now excuse the tape on there, it actually did tear. I don't know if it was when I was taking it off or when it was cutting. I think it got caught. So I just put a little bit of duct tape on there. So I had a teeny tiny pattern and I managed to do it. So I sewed a little coat together. And here it is. Like, I would have put it on him, like maybe next time I bring him in I'll put it on. It is really hot today. I will say this room is a freezing room and have to put an extra heater in here, so I'm not actually warm in here. I'm not cold, but I'm not warm either, even though it's an absolute scorcher. But there's his little coat, and I've done it in denim and red, and basically the red is fleece that I bought from Hobbycraft, and that is just my husband's jeans. And it is an old pair. I didn't just raid his wardrobe. Every time he's getting rid of a pair of jeans, I keep them. And he said, I don't even remember those jeans. That's what he says. But since 2002, I've been saving his old jeans, so he's not going to remember them all, is he? So if you have a look at this, see the difference in the size. And how much smaller that is than that one is. I reduced all the measurements down by 2 inches. From that one to that one, 2 inches on everything I reduced it by. And the reason I chose that was I noticed on the pattern every size increase went up by 2 inches. So I thought I'll try decreasing by 2 inches and I'll see what happens. So that's that. Right, clothes again. Or shall I? Actually, yeah, this might lead quite well to this. I'm really excited. I am in this magazine. It was such a surprise. Like, I don't remember sending a picture. I did enter a competition, so it might have been from that. And I'm always posting things in groups on social media, so it's probably from that. And I remember those were my words. But I'm on page 15. So have a look in that corner. That is me in my winter cozy throw over top. It's like a one size fits all. And what it does say is, these are my words. Sometimes I think they do change them, but I'm sure this is exactly what I said. I made this top on Saturday night, hemmed it on Sunday morning and wore it out that afternoon. Quite similar to what I did with this, but on a Saturday, wasn't it? It's a one size fits all from Owl and the Sewing Cat, which is fantastic. Now when I'm saying that's fantastic, Owl and the Sewing Cat, I think are fantastic, and the top, and I didn't need to worry about altering measurements, and it is great because you could make it for gifts and things. So going from that, Owl and Sewing Cat, this is a top I made. This was my first make of 2019, and it's my scooped hem top. It fell off the coat hanger. It's in a stretch knit fabric, and it drops down at the back and it comes up at the front, and it's like a bat wing style, and it's really lovely. Actually, I think, say if it was a bit hot, a bit cool, I'll try it on under this. I think that the colour would look really nice. I'm still crocheting my cardigan. I haven't really done much on that. Those are the things that come with that magazine, an extra booklet and a couple of patterns. I haven't looked at those too closely. The next on the agenda is I think I'm going to make a backpack, which is, I bought a kit a long time ago from Owl and the Sewing Cat. I think I'm going to make that because I think this time of year I could do with slightly bigger bags. You know, when you don't want to take out a coat, but you want to take like a Mac that you fold up. So I'm going to make this, and it's very spring summer like, the fabric. So I'm going to make a backpack, definitely. I haven't done any more on my red work quilt because I need to buy the wadding and I need to buy the fabric that goes around all the stitcheries. There's 2 different kinds of fabric and the backing, and then I've got to start the quilting. So until I've been shopping, I can't carry on with that. I'm still getting the parcels from Mandy. Like, I get so excited when I get these spotty bags, and I've just had my recent one, this cute little box, and this time we got a hoop, a little made with love, and it's East of India tag. I don't know, that's really bright, isn't it? A little wooden rabbit, and we got a lovely little letter on about what, you know, what's going on, and we got some designs that we can stitch, some like Easter designs. So a bit late for this Easter, but and there was some chocolate eggs in, again, a spotty bag. So I'm like, I don't think I'm so crazy for it red with spots because of Mandy, because that's her thing, but I am mad for it. So so that's all in the balance. I've got to buy stuff for that. And I don't know if it's this change of this weather, but all of a sudden I kind of know what I'm going to make, and then now, because Easter's going to be over and this change in weather, it kind of makes you feel differently. So now I'm thinking I really need some nice cool things. So last year I bought this flamingo fabric, and it was the end of a bolt from John Lewis, and it's chambray, and I can't remember how much I've bought, so it might be a small dress worth, but I just can't find a little summer dress. I know that might sound crazy, but I just can't find a pattern for one, so I might end up making maybe a couple of skirts, couple of different kind of skirts. I don't know yet, but yeah, I just need to look at that. So yeah, so definitely skirts on the agenda, definitely quilt, definitely backpack, and crochet cardigan ongoing here and there when I get the chance. So and I suppose the way of dog clothes, I'm always interested in that, but obviously at the time of year now we're getting a bit warm. We don't really need them, really, do they? So maybe dog harnesses. I can't get dog, can I? I'm just like dog obsessed. And that's it. I've got this fabric left over, and that I'm thinking of making a little skirt with that. It is only cotton, and I might just do a simple elastic waist skirt with it, and that's left over, and I can only do that if there's enough. I haven't looked at it. That was left over from when I made myself a craft apron. I think this was last year, and I made it with flax linen, and I made some cross stitch bees on the front, and the pattern is a Janet Clare cross backed apron. You might have seen a photo of me in it on social media. Oh, my son hates it when I call it social media. But I said, well, if you don't like it, what? And they give me another word for it. And he said, well, just say what it is, what you're on, whether it's Facebook or Snapchat. Not that I use Snapchat. I'm like, but yeah, okay, but what do you call it when you're talking about a general thing of all of them? I can't think of any. He couldn't give me a word, so I'm still calling it social media. But he doesn't like me saying things like pedestrian. But I think this is a teenage thing, isn't it? Has anyone else got teenagers like that? So so yeah, that's the apron, and as you can see, I use that fabric on the inside and on the pockets, and I've got some left, so if I've got enough, I'm going to make myself just like an elasticated summer skirt. But yeah, if anybody you know, can tell me a bit more what they think about polycotton for clothes, and if you're into quality, is it a no? You know, so yeah, I'd really appreciate a bit of advice really on that. So yeah, thank you for your time. I'm hoping this is actually going to upload. This is the longest video I've ever done, and I'm really sorry to take up your time. And if you have watched all of this, thank you so much for giving up that time. I really appreciate it. And yeah, and I'll let you know how I'm getting on next week. He's asleep, but look, I'm gonna lift him up. Oh, darling. Yes. So I hope you're all having a lovely Easter. Please enjoy the rest of your bank holiday. I hope you're getting some sunshine. I've not managed to really enjoy any sunshine because my husband has been doing things in our bedroom, decorating, and I couldn't sit there outside sunning myself, you know, with a nice glass of something while he's there. I'd just be too bad, so I've just been plodding along doing mundane housework and things in this glorious sunshine. But like, you might think I look like I've been in the sunshine. I actually put some fake tan on yesterday morning because we were going out for a meal last night, an Easter meal with the family. So I do look like I've caught a bit of suntan. I said, yeah, I've sat in the garden and I've got a tan, but no, it's fake. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for staying with me so long, and I'll see you soon. Bye.